Well, hello to all of our friends in different cities in Europe. Welcome to you. Welcome to our local audience here in Brussels. And we have the privilege to have an actress and a director ready to answer your questions, your tweet questions. So please join me on stage, Leyla Bouzid and Khalia Ben Ali. Have a seat, please. We will proceed to the tweet questions very soon. I am equipped, as you can say. I hope everything is safe. I'm sure it is. My first question, I saw the film 3 times. The first time I saw it, I was like, feeling electricized in a way. The energy that is captured in this film is amazing. So I wanted you to talk about, because we can see that energy, but you have to catch it on film. So can you comment a little about that, please?
Thank you for the good night. Thank you for this question. It was, in fact, the energy was in the center of every choice in this film, from the writing, like the main draft of the screenplay. You could feel already the energy. There was cuts. There was inside the scenes, the way we wrote it, there was this energy, and then all the choices were about this energy. So the 2 actresses, which are not actresses, because Khalia Ben Ali, in fact, is a singer.
She's a singer, absolutely.
And the daughter is the very first time she's acting and singing, so it's a little bit trapping. But the choice for the actors, all the cast, it was all non-professional, but it was all about the energy, the way to film, the music, and a lot of choices we made in the music were about this energy. We made the choice that it's all live, even if there is mistakes, even if there is faults, but it had to be really live to feel this energy, to feel what is it about. It's also a film about how we destroy the energy, because the film is very, very energetic in the beginning, the colors, everything, the cuts, the rhythm, but little by little this energy is destroyed, and in the end it's slow, the rhythm gets down, the colors are without color anymore, and so it's a film about how we destroy this energy. So,
of course, the film is centered on young people, teenagers, but one of the interesting aspects is it doesn't exclude other generations and the parents' generation, which is, I think, something very important and one of the specifics about the film. Could you comment about that aspect?
Yes. The Tunisian audience actually was really surprised with my part in the movie, because they said that after revolution nobody talked about the parents or about this old generation. Everybody's talking about the young generation who did the revolution, and the others, they are like a bit the bad guys who could lead all these young people to go to do this revolution and to suffer and to die, and so somehow seeing the mother in the movie was kind of no, this old generation was there. They were afraid for us, for young people, and they were there also to encourage us to go ahead. So yes, I had a beautiful character. It's like everybody's coming and telling me, "Oh, thank you for just making us exist and make our voice hearable."
Before giving you, I mean, wherever you might be, tweeting the word for your questions. I have a last one here. And that would be about, of course, the film has been embraced internationally in festivals and all, and tonight is another proof of that. But what about the reactions, the feedback that you got from local audience, please?
As Ghalia told a little bit, the film was really a big success in Tunisia. It was really incredible because it started in Carthage Film Festival. It's a very important festival in Africa and in Tunisia. And it was amazing, the audience there. And from there, it got 4 or 5 awards in this festival. And then it was released, and there was 50,000 viewers. So it's really something special in Tunisia because we have 7 theaters. So it was the distributor was also a young distributor, and they made only for the first day, but they made that the film was screened in 24 regions in whole country. So only the first day there was 9,000 persons that came to see the film. And it was amazing because there was really a lot of young people in the cinemas, a lot of 16, 17, 18 that were the first time to cinema, that were saying, it's the first time I see a film, Tunisian film, that it really talks about us, that is really us. And also the Tunisian audience was not understanding how in Europe or somewhere else they can understand the film. They were like, there is too much details in the songs, there is too much details in the bar scene. How can they understand this film? I don't understand. It was very funny because one of the first screenings was in Toronto, in Canada. There was maybe 30 Tunisian, and the rest were Canadian. And after the screening, we were talking, and the Tunisian wanted to explain to the Canadian the film. And the people were saying, we understood, we are crying. And they're, no, you can't understand this and this. Yes, we did. And so it was really nice success in Tunisia.
Well, now for tweet questions. Oh, yeah. We have a very interesting question. What inspired your movie? And is that a real band that it was based on?
No, it was a big challenge. It was not a real band. I start with the second part. In fact, when maybe it's connected a little bit. When I started writing this screenplay, it was just after the revolution in Tunisia, and everyone was talking about this revolution. It was really, it was everywhere in the media and everything, but everyone was surprised, thinking where it comes from. We didn't expect this, and for myself, the very first thing I thought is, okay, this will allow us to talk about Ben Ali's time, to talk about the police state, to talk about the last 20 years, and especially the last 5 years that I grew up in, and we couldn't talk about it. So I prefer to talk about this period before than after. So I started to write this very fast. And so this was the main inspiration. Plus, I made a short film about a mother-daughter relationship, and it was more about the mother, and I wanted to do a film with this relationship, but more about the daughter, but with the same strong relationship between them two. And that the mother and the daughter, somehow, at one point of the film, you think it's nearly the same person. When Farah disappears, the mother, she's taking her place, and she's really becoming her, because we see for the first time her hair. And so this was something very, very much in the beginning of the project. For the music, in the beginning I thought Farah will be a blog writer, and then I found out that it's not very cinematographical. So because it's someone in front of his computer all the time, and my co-writer told me, what about a rock singer, not a rock, but a singer? And I said, okay, but this is a crazy idea. And I started thinking about all the bands I saw when I was in high school that were rock music, but only you could see them once in a concert and then you don't hear about them anymore. So it inspired me a lot, especially that I wanted this energy in the film. So I started dreaming and writing this band of rock music, Tunisian rock music, and in Tunis there is rap music, but not that much rock. But there is in Lebanon and in Egypt. And so then we had to write the songs. We had to create this band. It's all real musicians. They are really playing live music. They are not actors. We created this band. There was an amazing Iraqi music composer that made the music of the film, that make them rehearsal before the shooting. He was also there because technically it was really complicated. And now there is an album of the music of the film, so it's released, and it's really I'm very proud, and I like very much this music, and it's also have a big part in the film. Also the texts, because it's very rare today to have full songs in films, and we wanted to leave this place, but not that it feels like video music, but that it feels really like the film. So it was very important, every emotion of every song, the way it's filmed, that it's different from each other, and so on.
Yeah. You already answered part of the next question about the musical scene, but the other part of this new question is about, are there still these problems in Tunisia?
Which ones? The ones of the parents that doesn't leave their children make art? Yes. Of course, you don't change, because the film is by circles. The first circle is really the family circle, and then the society circle, and the third one is the system of the country. So you don't change all these circles so easily. So yeah, the problem with the family is the main problem in Tunisia. That's why also the film finish on the family, because it's one of the main problem. And I think almost of the person stops in this step. The mother say, "Okay, no, you will be a doctor," and the child say he doesn't fight for it. The society problem, yes, and and the system problem, yes. It's today Farah would have an association fighting for her. She would have a Facebook page, and she would have a lot of defensor. But there is still a problem in Tunisia for young artists, especially in the rap scene, or even filmmakers with marijuana, because in Tunisia, if you smoke a joint, is 1 year of prison, and they don't need to catch you. So if a policeman decide to make you make a test, he make a blood test, and he find out, or and he found out you smoke in the last 27 days, you have 1 year of prison and 500 euro of to pay. This is really destroying lives. So there is 7,000 young person today in Tunisia in prison only for a joint. And so if the police want, and everyone smokes, and so if the police is, or the power or someone is deciding that you are a problem, he can try to do this. So the last years there was really a lot of musicians in prison for this, but as there was always a big fight from the société civile, civil society, in general, after some months they are liberated, but these ones, because they are famous somehow, but all the young that are not famous and they are fighting for something, they have big risk to finish in prison. So there is a lot of problems still, but the film is existing, this musician exists, today we talk about this, and this is really new, and let's hope that this is creating something, because there is associations, there is a real civil society that is really active. So this is a big difference. The fact that we could shoot this film and that it's telling what it's telling, and that it was released in Tunisia, it's really, really huge, but it's not enough.
We are getting a lot of questions about the question of young people and the struggle, etc. The one is about, was there a noticeable difference between the reactions to the film by the youngsters and the parents? Was there a generational divide, in other words, in the way the film was received?
Maybe we will not have the same answer. I think yes, but...
I think they both liked...
yes, but they don't see the film the same way. Like, there is some parents in Tunisia, almost, that come to see me, and mothers, essentially, that tells me, I don't know if it was my daughter, what I would have done. And my daughter is 15, and I think I'm gonna have such a crisis in 2 years, and I don't know what I will do. But in the end, the mother, she let her do, but maybe I would have done the same, maybe not. And you feel that something is happening. For me, the Tunisian youth, they really, really recognize themselves, like really, or a model or a hero that is really, they can be in empathy with. And the parents, they are more with the parents, with Ghalia, and they are more about analyzing the Ben Ali's time, analyzing this generation lag. They are more surprised by some things.
I'm also surprised. I left Tunisia 30 years ago, and youth at that time wasn't like I could discover in the movie. So it was a bit a surprise for me as well to see how young people evaluated, how the society changed. I'm more like the mother. Somehow I had a lot of restrictions in my life as a young girl at that moment. So it was a very big surprise for me, this movie. Yeah.
I have, well, an interesting question about young people's struggle, but not against something, but about identity. Yeah. What would be your comments about that?
To be honest, also, the film was screened a little bit in Europe, and I think some European youth, I don't know if it's really answering the question, but some European youth, they really find themselves in the film, maybe not in the very, very last part with the police, but with the way they have to deal with being themselves. And I think this is what is the film. As young European, you can recognize yourself in Farah, and this was very important for me. I didn't want that it's a girl that is veiled, or a girl that is from somewhere in the world that is so far from us, and that we watch her and think, oh my God, look how they are living. No, I wanted that it's really like a young girl in New York or in France or in Belgium or whatever, and that she wants to just live her 18 years old. Because when you are 18, you live your first love story, you want to try things, you want to go against your family, you want to do something that maybe you will not be able to do. And but the film, little by little, slips into something more political. So I know that normally we are with Farah, and then at one point we think, okay, no, in fact, this is much harder than what I could have, but it is about this coming age moment, and I think it's about the moment where you build yourself, and Farah is in the moment where she builds herself, but no one lets her do this. No one let her do mistakes. Her mother is very afraid that she's doing mistakes. The society is not forgetting that she's doing mistakes, and the system also. And it's about how you build yourself with all these walls.
The next question, well, another very interesting one. The movie talks about self-censorship. Were you yourself able to show everything you wanted to show?
Yes. I think it was very important for me that I don't do any censorship in the film, and I think we can feel it very easily.
The next one, well, yeah. As the revolution decreased the machismo in Tunisia.
I don't know. The people think that the revolution is coup de baguette magical.
Wand,
yeah.
We start saying also that it wasn't a revolution, that it was a kind of an angry screaming. No, and it looks like more like a 6 years old child saying no to everything, more than a revolution that is more about building something or thinking or organizing something or constructing an idea, so I think a real revolution is about awareness. And we got that because of a no, an angry no. At one moment we could have what we asked for, but now we are doing the revolution. It's now that we are building, that now that we are aware about things and starting to think and to find and to search for solutions as well. So,
what was the relevance of the scene when the workers are complaining that they had not received their bonuses?
Okay, I try to make a short answer about that. It is in southwest Tunisia, in a place called Gafsa, and it's mines of phosphate. And it's the first place in 2008 where really started the first strikes in Tunisia. And in fact, we talked a lot about Bouazizi, this sailor of vegetable that burned himself, and it was like, wow, it's like the magical thing, like, wow, it made the fire on whole, blah, blah, blah. And all this is a little bit marketing, like marketing because the media like this story, it's beautiful, but this is not true. It's true, but it is not the starting point. And in fact, these people in these mines, they started fighting, striking on 2008, and they were really struggling by the police. There was the first death, and this is what prepared Tunisians to make this revolt, so it was important for me to show them. And in the story of the film, I found it more interesting to, at one point, to see where is the father, to see that in this system, the father that is not corrupted is seen as corrupted by these workers, because it's normal, because it's a system that makes that everyone is corrupted in the end. And to come back to the mother-daughter with the father, it was cinematographically also interesting for me, but it's first homage to these fighters that are in exactly the same situation today.
Well, quite precise question. Someone is remembering a Tunisian rap song talking about the rising price of bread, and that had an impact. I mean, do you remember that one?
I don't know what is the name of the song. It's possible. Almost like, as I said, there was no rock band in 2010, but there was really a rap scene that is still very, very active. So in the last years of Ben Ali, there was a strong rap songs with people that had this kind of problems with the state. There was also some music which was more close to the reggae. And the the people singing had also the problems like Farah, but this specific song I'm not sure to know.
Oh, that's interesting question. Would you let your child have a band or other strong art form to speak out against something such as Farah did, to be a rebel?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I'm so afraid that my child tells me one day I want to make finance or economy, or I'm telling my boyfriend, okay, what we gonna do if he wants to be a boss in an boring society? I'm sorry for all the people that work in this, but
the boring society.
Yes, but I have really a lot of friends that made this finance, and they finish at 11 of the night, and they work all the time, and they don't seem happy. And I would be so happy if my
child. But if your child, his passion is to be a boss in a company, please let him do it.
Oh no.
Well, I have no questions for the moment, but I have one, but it has to be asked before we finish anyway. It needs a lot of time and dedication to make a film. You know, you have to find a subject that will have desire go on. You know, did you already start on a new project, and did you find something worth fighting like you did for years to make?
I'm writing at the moment, and writing goes with a lot of anguish and stress, and sometimes you are very happy and sometimes not. So I'm writing the next project, and yeah, I can't talk about it more than this.
A new and very interesting question. Being nominated for the Lux Prize of the European Parliament, what would be your message to EU decision makers? To the European Union decision makers?
Wow. Maybe
you have 1 second to say it all.
I would say, if I say just one sentence, maybe to raise the borders, to delete all the borders in the mind, the borders on the speeches, on the symbolic borders, yeah. Because I think the film shows that we are all the same, and that Tunisian youth is exactly the same like European youth, and it's not some, I don't know what, strange person that is living in another world. So I think this is very important, and I really wanted with the film also to see how much that people see that it's the same, and that this teenage, they are fighting for being what they are, but we talk only about ISIS and so on. But maybe Ghalia have also a message for...
No, I cannot say it's better than this. I agree with this.
No, it's a very good point to end this debate, because time's up. So thank you very much to both of you. Thank you to you here in Brussels, and thank you to you all in the 7 other cities in Europe for joining us and asking so interesting questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.